Tyranny came home today to where I live, the town I love. And the time has come, the time is now for us to aggressively resist this through boycotts, through petitions, through lawsuits. Our long journey into domestication and dependency on the scientific dictatorship is accelerating. Our entire society is being turned into a massive surveillance grid. It has been designed to persecute the people. Homeland Security and the military dictatorship Northcom openly have stated, and we have their secret documents as well, that Northcom is for the American people, keeping control of the American people so that we don't legitimately and legally take control of our government, of our nation. It is there to block the people from stopping our nation from fraudulently being brought into financial receivership to foreign criminal offshore banks, money laundering, drug dealing, white slavery controlling crime syndicates. The history of the world is being conquered and conquering. The history of the world is conquest and domination. And that's what's happening today. I remember 7 years ago, before Homeland Security became a cabinet position, when it was in the process of taking over the 35 main federal agencies, I remember researching it and finding out that Bill Clinton had first given a speech in 1993 about it, the Council on Foreign Relations in 94, 95, 97, 98, 99. The Hart-Rudman Commission of the Council on Foreign Relations had laid out the plan for Northcom and Homeland Security before the attacks of 9/11. It was quietly being set up in Colorado Springs, Colorado, to bring the United States under a military dictatorship, though a carefully camouflaged dictatorship that would slowly be rolled out, that the public would slowly be conditioned to acquiesce to and accept in the name of fighting terrorism and saving the environment. Then, in 2007, Judicial Watch sued and got the internal secret documents of the North American Union meeting, the SPP, with CEOs of the 100-plus top powerful corporations in North America, meeting with the cabinet heads of Mexico, the United States, and Canada. And first up on their agenda was how to keep it secret, how to implement North American integration by stealth, so they could get rid of our Bill of Rights and Constitution by trumping it, by creating a new system that superseded it through treaty. But treaties done by the bureaucracy, not with the full force of the Senate. And in there they talked about the double prong, the pincer of fake environmentalism, carbon tax to take control of our lives and track everything we do, and terrorism. That is now happening. And I saw Governor Ridge in a roundtable 2-hour discussion with top CEOs on C-SPAN discuss the future. And everything he said has since been in mainstream media articles, like the Times of London article I read last night about Microsoft patents a system where everyone at work will wear a body sensor that will track your respiration, your heart rate, your brain waves. It is a medical dictatorship, a pharmacological dictatorship. Face scanning cameras, body scanners to go in the malls, the public schools, just like metal detectors have gone in nationwide. And how to have a job, you will have to be in good graces with Homeland Security. And how it would start with the no-fly list, millions of people now on it, innocent people, no judge, no jury, no way to know why you got on the list. That then if you have bad credit or haven't paid all your taxes, they will simply turn your national ID, biometric, face scan, thumbprint, access code off. You will not be able to have a job. You will not be able to buy or sell. They are creating giant bureaucracies to hunt anyone down that operates outside of the system. You've heard about $1 million fines, years in prison if you have an unauthorized garage sale or flea market or bazaar. That is now not law. It's just the bureaucracy is just doing it. That's Associated Press, Fox News. All of this is going on. Unprecedented system of total control. And the social engineers know what makes us tick. They know how human beings operate. They understand our social systems. They understand our mammalian systems. We're being trained like dogs. Right after 9/11, 5 airports had body scanners put in them. You step in, this meter wave radiation that major medical scientists and reports have said are definitely cancer-causing, energize your body. It shoots right through your clothes and shoots a totally crisp image of your naked body. Drudge Report yesterday had the big headline. London Independent also has an image of a man and his genitalia hanging down between his legs. If they can sell you, after years and years of admitting it will scan your naked body, your sons, your daughters, your wife, yourself, and put it into a database, and think of how many other DMV records and federal records always get stolen by their own employees and put out on the web. It'll guarantee be leaked on the web. It'll be used. The government will record your naked body. They're already doing it in mass. And now they've announced, the first few years, if you refuse it, we just do a pat down and maybe a strip search and ask you if you're a terrorist and scream and yell at you. I've seen it happen to people. I've never been called out at the few airports that had it in. They just randomly pick people. You're wearing a giant turban and can't speak English and have no passport, you're let right through. But particularly if you're an old man in a wheelchair, they tend to really get upset with them. I don't know why. Almost every time I fly, I see them jabbing and poking and screaming at some old person. Old ladies with knitting needles. Because you're the people they want to train to accept this. You're the milk cows. You're the cattle. You're the once proud free people being trained to accept this. Now, remember for the last year, I reported on the Homeland Security funding of more than $7 billion that was funded in early 2009 for full body scanners to go in 214 airports. That's every major airport in the United States by 2010. And then magically, on Christmas Day, you have the underwear bomber, gets on without a passport, is led on by the well-dressed man at the European airport in Amsterdam. There's another person reported with a bomb. The FBI lies about that and has now been forced to change their story 6 times. It was 5 times last night. They've now changed it again. And now admit he was indeed on that flight, and they won't say where he went. Magically that happens, and they begin beating the drum within hours of it. See, we must have the body scanners. We must have the body scanners. It was all set. It was all rigged. Every TV network, every station had their talking points. Just like I told you with Building 7, I predicted that it would be Reuters that had given BBC and CNN a early report, jumping the gun, saying that Building 7 had fallen in its own footprint because the scripting goes out. And 2 years later, BBC admitted it was a Reuters report. I'm telling you that within minutes, and I'll guarantee you at some major newsrooms, they probably got it early. More smoking gun proof. But we haven't proven that yet. We've proven it in the past. I know how they operate. I know their MO. I know their manuals. I know their operations. I will guarantee you my bottom dollar. Because I saw it within minutes. I was driving to the store Christmas Day to buy some eggs. We'd forgotten to buy some. Looking around for a convenience store that was open. Got in the car, turned it on, listened to the report, pure coverage on 590 AM carrying Fox News Radio. Drove home, sat in the parking lot for 30 minutes listening. And I said, by tonight, they'll be calling for body scanners. Went to Drudge, went to ABC News Online. My wife's like, why aren't you spending time with the kids? I said, sorry, I've got to check this. And the first thing up was body scanners. And I said, okay, this is a big piece of the puzzle. This was staged. If they start calling for the Patriot Act expansion by tomorrow, we'll know it was scripted. Boom, did that. If we hear this guy got on without proper ID and that he'd been involved in terrorist training camps, or that he had been in England, because it always comes out of the same mosque, we know it's an op. All that came out. Then the sharp-dressed man bringing him on without ID. Then the other people on board videotaping. The FBI lying about it. All confirmed. And now, remember, this was funded last year. It was already going in. Now, all over the news in every major city and even smaller towns that have hub airports, 214, they are now announcing body scanners. And you must go through them. Everyone will go through them. And they're even admitting, yes, we're recording it. Yes, we're saving it. Some of them are lying and spinning and saying they aren't. And now Austin is putting them in. And I will not go through them. And all of us have to resist and say no and sue and boycott. Because if we put up with this, next are the taser bracelets. Mark my words.